Okay. So the last time, I think we saw we didn't go to the flex, right? Okay. Okay. So we created this web page, the small web page. So have you tried out this by yourself? Did you understand how we did and how the things are actually working? I told you to do the footer, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you did? Okay. Okay. Do you have any doubt in this concept? Sorry for that. Not having a class for last 4 days because I am not seriously I'm not well, so that's the problem. So I'm very sorry for that.
Sir,
So
how are you now, sir?
yeah, I'm all right now.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So now today, today we just get into the flex, okay? Because we know how we now very clear about this inline and block level element. So the next step we are going to learn the display flex, okay? So without flex we cannot able to design a good layout, okay? So the flex is very important when you are a web developer or web designer. So as a front end developer the flex is very important. So for now where is the flex? Okay, this is the flex. So today we get into flex, okay? So first of all we have to know what is flexbox. So the flexbox model is an one-dimensional layout model that provides a method to offer space distribution and powerful alignment capabilities. So when you start to develop some design, what the designer is giving to you to develop a web page or web application, so there is a lot of alignment problem will come, okay? So when you work as a web developer, so to fix that problem the flex is a god, okay? Because flex is very powerful. The flexbox itself uh, the flexbox itself no like it's a very good thing that we can have the flexbox in a web design. So for example, before flexbox we align the element using float and table. Flexbox has made life much easier for the people use css. So before the flexbox they use the float or table kind of things to align the uh, alignment in the web page. So that is very difficult to do that a proper alignment, but with the flexbox it is very easy to align very difficult layout also. So the css grid is another option for alignment and positioning, etc. So it's good to learn both. I will teach you the both, but the flexbox is very important because that one is enough to make a beautiful web page. So first I'm focusing on flexbox. Once we done and once we good at it, then we jump into grid, okay? So what is one dimensional layout? Okay, so the one dimensional layout is it work in a row or in a column, okay? We both in one side only, in one side only, but the grid is work in a both way, even in a column or grid. So there is a two option for grid. We can work in a column and row with the same time, but the flex is not like that. It only work in a column or row. That's called the one dimensional layout. I will give you the example, but theoretical way it is very hard to understand for the beginners, but we'll get into that, okay? So flex container and flex item, so these two things are very important. So the flex container is the element that hold flex items. Flex items are direct children of flex container. A container is created with display flex. What does it mean? So if you see this, I have a div here, okay? So one div here, so div takes a class, has a flex container. Inside we have three children. One is the div flex item 1, and second one is the flex item 2, and third one is the image. So inside the flex container we have a three types of childrens. So it's not inside we can have any other tags also, okay? Even if it is a tag or any other tag, it should be a consider as a flex this parent children only, okay? Not only the div not only the div we have to put like this way. We can put whatever the element inside here, it should change as a flex children. So what are the properties we have as a parent and children? For example, this flex container is the parent, so the flex item are all children's. So there is different properties for parents and children's. So for the parent, we are going to use only 4 properties. I'm wrongly add the 2 properties. We not no more use these 2 properties. Okay, what are the properties we going to concentrate? Means the justify content, align items, and flex direction and flex wrap. These 4 property only we use in our web development as a front end developer. Okay, whatever the project you are using for the flex container, for the parent container we should use only the 4. For the flex item we should use all the 5, but I never use the flex shrink. So that we use grow, basics, align self, and order. But I will give you the example what these children properties will do and what this parent property will do. Okay, so I will explain you when we get into the practical way. So the main axis and the cross axis. So let's start coding up the flexbox. Okay, so now so I create one folder here, css. So here I put another folder. So the another folder name called flexbox. Okay, so the flexbox. So inside I have a index.html and one more file called style.css. Okay, so inside flex we almost use this default code. So this one is flexbox. I just give the title here. Okay, okay, so I'll just link my style.css here. So style.css. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have a parent flex. Okay, parent flex. Inside I'm going to have a 3 children. So we have 3 children here. So each of children have item 1, 2, and 3. So
Sir, how you can type in all the 3 lines at once?
yeah, so if you hold the alt key and you can press wherever the cursor you want. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so it should highlight the place. Okay, so now we have item 1, item 2, item 3 within one parent. The parent name has parent flex and the child name is child flex. Okay, so now it got opened here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to style the child properties. Okay, so first we're going to concentrate on the parent property, then we get into the child property. So here the basic code we always add that margin 0 pixel and the padding 0 pixel, box sizing. I teach you the box sizing.
No, sir.
No, so okay, now I'll just take this. Okay, I will afterwards I will teach you this box about the box sizing. So now we have, okay, so now we just take off all the margin and padding for the elements, default margin and padding of element. So now I'm going to call the child flex. So here I'm going to give a background color red. Okay, so the background color is red. We can go with blue, BLUE. Then we going to have some width here. Width is like 150 pixel and height is 150 pixel. So now we got a 3 box with the background color blue with 150 pixel of width and with 150 pixel of height. Okay, so now I'm going to just put some margin here. Margin is totally 15 pixel. So I need some space here I need some gap here. Okay, so that the margin is give you a outside of the spacing of the element. Okay, so that we have some white space here. Okay, so now this is the block level element, right? So far we know this block level and inline element. So what is display flex? That's the thing we're going to learn today. So here if you see, this is block level element because it takes a full available space of the browser. Each and everything is a block level element. So everything is good. So now here I just going to take the parent flex. Okay, so the parent flex display, I'm going to give a display block. So nothing gonna change because it's a default value is display block. Whenever whatever when you're creating a div element in your document, the HTML document, it is a default display is the block. So I'm going to change this flex. Okay, so now it changed in a row. Okay, so the 1 2 3, so this is flex. Okay, so each and every element, the default actually it's going to be in block, but once we add the display flex to the parent, okay, the child will going to become as a flex children. So the what will happen when we add a display flex to the parent, it will actually wrap next to each other. Okay, so if you see last the without flex, we saw that all boxes are actually one by one in the downside, but after we add the flex, it's actually wrapped in next to each other. Okay, so this is called a flex. So if I hover this here, you see I already told you in the box model concept. So when I hover the blue color, okay, so this is a parent flex. It has a total available space of 1280 pixel of the browser spacing. Okay, so if I hover this, you see the three box only highlighted with light blue color. What that mean? It actually takes that place. There is a there is a out of lot of place here. Okay, not filled. Okay, so here you see there is non-filled space here. So this is a dark blue. So I can now align the properties wherever I want in this total space. So that is where the flex will be very useful. So if you're using flex, it's very useful to space distribution and powerful alignment also. So now I'm going to give you a space distribution. I will tell you the alignment property when we get into the flex children property. Okay, so now I'm going to distribute a space. So here there is a lot of empty space. How can I actually move my children to this empty space? How can I fill the empty space with my children? So that is the second thing. So here I told you there is a fourth property. Okay, so the first one is the fourth property only we're going to use. So this one, for example, test. Okay, justify content, align items, flex wrap, then flex direction. Okay, flex direction. So these fourth property only we're going to use for the parent element. It is very easy. Okay, so I just command this properties here. So now the first thing I'm going to use the justify content. Okay, so justify content, flex start. So if you see here, nothing gonna change, right? Because that is the default value of the justify content property. So justify content, flex start is the default value. So it's not going to change anything here, but I just commanded and put down here. If I change this to center, okay. If I change this to center, my children element are in the center of the parent. Okay, you see it's actually aligned in the center. So now it has a empty space in both sides from the left and the right. Okay, so now it's actually in a center alignment. Okay, so what about end? So I want to move my children to this end. Okay, so last time we have the three children start from here. Now I need my children to the end. Okay, so for that I'm going to add flex end. Okay, the flex end, what the flex end do, it takes the children to the end of the empty space. So if you see now we align the children to the end of that empty space. So now the empty space are here. Okay, so it actually swapping. Okay, we are actually swapping the children however we want, like alignment or space distribution. So now we swapped to left to the right side. Okay, everything is good. So there is another property. So most of the time we're not gonna use this start or end. So we always use most of the time we use center and justify content space between. Okay, so this is very important because 99% you only use this property only. Okay, so if you see here, it actually gives the space in between the all element. Okay, so if you see I hover the parent here, the parent has a in between empty spacing. The dark blue is actually the spacing. Okay, the light blue is the light blue highlighted mean it actually contains some width and height, so that's what it become a blue color. So here we have an empty space, so that's what it become a violet color. So now this is a space between. Okay, then we have space evenly. So if I save this, it should give the even space to all the sides. Okay, so if I hover here, so in this left and this one, the right one, all are actually the same equal amount of space distribution. Okay, so this is space evenly. So there is another property called space around. It gives the space around the all child element. So now it gave some space around the all element. So these are this is the justify content. We are actually aligning the children property in a row. Okay, not in a column. I'm talking about the row. Okay, just it's a one dimensional method. So one we work for row or one we work for a column. So that's it. That's called a one dimensional. Okay, so now I just keep it as a space between. Anyone, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, super. So now the second thing is we have align items. Okay, so the align item flex start. So what does this align item is going to do? So nothing is gonna change here, because if I inspect this, and this is the justify content is for row and align item is for column. Okay, so if I hover this parent, the parent has the height of 180 pixel. So there is no over height to align the children. There is no empty space to align the children. Okay, so understand like that way. So we have a 1200 pixel in a width, so that we can align our children in a row wherever we want, like the end or space distribution, like center, space between, around, evenly, like that way. But there is only the height contain 180 pixel. So we cannot able to move the child outside of the 180 pixel. Okay, but we need some height to move the alignment. So for that, I'm just going to give some height to my parent. Okay, so it's now a flex start. Align item is a flex start. So I'm just going to give a height of 500 pixel. So if I inspect it again, so I come back here and I just hover this. Okay, so if you see, last time we have not seen this empty space like the 500 pixel. Now once I add the 500 pixel, it should appear as a violet color. What does it mean? It's an empty space. We have a lot of space so that we can align the children wherever you want in this, between in this 0 to 500 pixel. Okay, so now it's a align flex start. So nothing gonna happen because the default value is flex start. Okay, so the second property, this is for column align item center. So what does it do? It actually align in the center of the 500 pixel. Okay, so first is flex start. It's actually a default value. It started from the top, then the center, it should come in the center of that parent height. So last thing we have align items flex end. So what does it do? It should move our child to the end of that 500 pixel. Okay, so now we learned about the row and the column. Okay, so the row we going to use only the justify content syntax. For the column we going to use align items. Okay, so this is the thing. Do you have any doubt in this? We're going to learn more, but this is the basics. Okay, so this is very basics. So if you have any doubt, I will clear it out and then we move on.
No, sir.
Okay, so good. Now okay, super. Now we have display flex justify content space. Now what the property? So okay, now we get into flex wrap. Okay, what does the flex wrap is going to do? So now I change the align items to flex start, the default value. You don't want to give this default, it's going to add a flex start only. The default value is flex start. Even if you add or not add, it should start from a flex start only. Okay, so if I'm just actually I'm shrinking my window. Okay, so I'm shrinking my window. If you see here, the dimensional responsive, what does it mean? It's actually giving the device width. Okay, so this is for a desktop. Whenever I shrink my screen, it should uh, I'm actually lessing the screen. Okay, so if I shrink like this way, this is for example, wait. So this is for iPhone SE. Okay, so this is actually the responsive design. So I cannot able to wrap my child next to the bottom. Okay, so the flex wrap is going to help us to wrap the children. Okay, so if I give flex wrap to no wrap. Okay, so the first property is no wrap. What does it do? We'll check. So no wrap is not doing anything. Why? Because it is a default value. Okay, the flex has a default value of flex no wrap. Okay, so now I'm going to add a flex wrap. So what does the wrap is going to do? We'll check. So now if I shrink the screen, so it's actually wrapping. Okay, whenever it not able to sit here, it should wrap it down. Okay, so for example, if I shrink more, it wrap down. Okay, so this is how the flex wrap will work. So if it does not able to take this width here, it should wrap down. So there is a blue space here, no? So the empty space, if the empty space is shrink completely, it should pull the child to the bottom. Okay, so if I hover this, if I shrink this, it should actually coming down. Okay, so this is how the wrap is actually working. There is another property. So what is that? So we have wrap reverse. It is opposite. So it wrap in the top side. Okay, so 3 to 1 goes in a top. Okay, so this is, we're not gonna use the flex wrap reverse and all. So I never use this wrap in my career. So don't you just I'm just giving the example. Okay, so we use only the flex wrap. I will give you the example where to implement that, how to code this using this flex. So when we get into the project, so now the second thing, so the flex wrap completed. No, so then we have a direction. So what that direction? So I told you there is a 2 direction. One is row and another one is column. Okay, so first I just give you a row. So the row is default, nothing gonna change. Okay, because it's a default value 1 2 3, it's a row. So if I give row reverse, just 1 minute, one call is coming. Just okay, so we'll start. Okay, so the row reverse, what the row reverse does, it change the element in a reverse order. So you see 3 2 and 1. Okay, so this is what the row reverse will do. Then we have a flex direction column. Okay, so the column is change in the column. When we add the column to the flex direction, it should change the row direction to the column direction. Okay, so that's what it's actually it's actually coming one by one. Okay, so the 1 2 3. So what about the column reverse? So this is column reverse. Okay, so if we add the column reverse, we have a item 3, item 2, item 1. So it's reverse the column. So okay, this is the basics of the flex parent flex properties. So we learn display flex, justify content to align the children in a row, and align items to align the children in a column. And we saw that flex wrap and reverse and flex direction also. The default value is flex row. I will add it that. Okay, so flex direction row is the default. So we have a column reverse, column and column reverse. So these are the property we're going to use in a parent. Okay, so now most of the time we're not gonna use this where's the wrap reverse and space evenly. Sometimes we use evenly, not around then flex start is a basic. So sometimes we use flex and So most of the time we use the flex space between only. Okay, the space between, because we align the children to this corner to this corner. That is the equal distribution of the spacing. I will understand when we get into the project, when we create some new page. Okay, so now I change this to default value of row. Okay, so this is the parent element properties in the flex. So do you have any doubt?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay, super. Now we get into the children property. Okay, so what are the child properties are there? So for the child property, we have a order, flex grow, flex shrink, flex basics, align self. I just add all the things here for the child text order. And we have flex grow, then flex shrink, flex basics. Then we have what is that? Align self. Okay, align self. Okay, that's cool. Now we have five properties. Okay, this going to control the child. It's not going to work for the parent, only for the child. If you have not add the display flex to the parent, this property won't work for the children. Okay, if you want to control the children with this property, the parent should be in a display flex, then only you can able to use this property and all. Okay, without display flex you can't able to use this property to the children. So remember that. Okay, so now first thing we're going to look at the flex grow. So what does grow mean? It's actually how the, okay, what does the grow means? It's actually enlarge the thing, right? So for example, flex grow, I'm going to give 1. Okay, for the children, you see it's a children, child flex, it's not a parent, it's a children. I gave a flex grow 1. What does this 1 is going to do? This going to give a equal amount of width to the children element. Okay, so the last time, without having a flex grow, we add width of 150 pixel, height of 180 pixel, sorry, the 150 pixel. Without having flex grow, you see there is a lot of white space here. Okay, so the flex grow will, most of the time the flex grow is very useful, because when we want to need some equal space for the both left and right side, if you're using two row of containing divs here in a web page, you can use flex 1. Okay, so inside the flex parent, if you have a 2 children, you need a same spacing for both, same width for both children, means you can give it as a flex grow 1. It should return a equal value of the both children. So the same concept is applying here. If I give the flex grow 1, it should return me back a equal spacing of equal width of all the element what is sitting in a flex parent. So if I hover this, you see I gave 150 pixel, that is marking as a dark blue with a dot, but the flex grow makes a larger, that is having a one strike line. Okay, so that's where the flex grow got actually aligned. Okay, so here only the flex grow actually added, so not in the 150 pixel. Even if you have not add the 150 pixel here, it should work. Okay, we don't want to give a width, it should actually calculate by your browser width and return a equal width for all the children what you are giving. So for example, if we add one more children here, it should take even space. Okay, it will take care of all the things. So if you see, the 4 box are having a equal space, equal width. So if I hover this one, it should give me a 287. It should give 287, 287, 287. So what it's actually doing, it's actually dividing the 100% of the width, and also and adding how many children are inside in a parent. Okay, so now this is the flex grow, it's going to enlarge the thing with the equal amount of width. So now I take it
So
out.
what
So
if we give two flex grow to any number we can give or only one?
your voice is very low, ma.
So one we are giving you, sir. Like for what we are giving
Yeah,
one
yeah, I will
margin
explain
one.
you. The one is the basic value. Okay, So this is the, if you want to add a same amount of spacing, you can give a 1. Okay, so it should give you back a equal amount of width to all the children. So now the next thing, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So here I'm going to target the, you remember the nth child, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the nth child, one background color in a red. Okay, so this one is a red. So you already know, if we are not adding any classes and accessing the class here in a CSS. So we are using nth child to target the elements. So this one is second and this one is third. So here I'm going to give some blue color and this one should be in a green color. Okay, so now each child has a different colors. Okay, so that item 1, item 2, item 3. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this flex grow one here. From here I'm going to add flex grow to this all the children, and here I'm going to make it larger. Okay, flex grow 1 2 3. What does it going to do? The 1 is smaller than 2, the 2 is smaller than 3. Okay, this is the difference. If you give the 1, it should give you back a same amount of width how many children are inside the parent element. If you specify the numbers for each and every children, like 1 2 3, or if you give a kind of 10 here, the box is actually grows. Okay, so this is not the way we are actually going to work. Most of the time 99% we use flex grow 1 only. That's how actually the layout will works. Okay, then how we can create the layout means we use the width of in a percentage. Okay, I will give you the example when we get into the project. Okay, so most of the time we use only flex grow 1. So this, I'm just giving the example what will happen if you use the 1 or 2, if you differentiate the flex grow value to each and every children's. Okay, so it actually give you a lot of spacing with the a large number. Okay, if it is a large number, it should give a large space. If it is a small number, it gives you a smaller space. So that's it, it takes a smaller place space. You understand? I mean, what's your name? I forgot your name. Amina, right?
Asima, sir.
Asima. Yeah, okay, sorry. Asima, you understand it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So most of the time we use only the flex grow 1. Okay, so not not gonna specify the children like this way. So don't worry. So I just command this out. I add defaultly the flex grow here. Okay, the flex grow 1 here. Okay. The next property is, so I make it an order. Okay, the grow, shrink, basis, and align self order. So what's the next property? The flex shrink. So what the flex shrink is going to do? The flex shrink, the shrink is what the shrink mean? Well, it's actually how can I say that? Shrink. So we are shrinking. Okay, so I'm meaning this. Okay, shrinking. So what does shrink is going to do? So if I add flex shrink to this child directly 1. Okay, so we're not gonna see anything here. So basically the three things are actually having a flex shrink 1. So I'm just not going to give this like this way. So now I'm going to give it, I'm just going to change the number here, the 2, here the 3. We never gonna use this property, don't worry. Okay, so we never gonna use this property. So if I shrink this one, what happened? The flex shrink 1 to each and every. Okay, I want to take this flex grow. Yeah, okay, so now I'm just giving some width here. Okay, so the width. So then if you see here, the 3 is shrinking faster than 2. 2, you understand, right? The 3 is, you see, the 3, it's not actually shrinking in the same value. 3 is faster because I gave the flex shrink 3. So the 2 is shrinking slower than the flex 1. Okay, so this is the difference what the flex shrink. Okay, so we're not going to use anywhere, so don't worry. I'm not going to concentrate on not using properties. So I just command this out. Just understand, if someone will ask the question, you just give the explanation. Okay, shrink is whenever we give some other different value to the child element, it should take consider the large number of value for the children what you gave, and it shrink faster the children. Okay, so the third thing, we have a flex basis. So what the flex basis is going to do, so I take this flex width. Okay, I'm not going to use a width. So I can give a width. If the parent is flex, I can give a width using flex basis 150 pixel. So this will work like a same as width, but this flex basics not gonna work if the parent is not a flex. Okay, this flex basics only works if the parent is a flex. So if you use somewhere without flex children, it not gonna work. Okay, so if I come back here now, it should has a flex basis of 150 pixel. If you hover the, if you see the, take a look at box here, you see the width has 150 pixel, but we never use that we not use that width property here. We use the flex basic. This is the another type of giving width using a flex basis. It's works some kind of width only, but I'm not a user of flex basics. I'm always use width only. Okay, I will stick with the width only. So you too want to stick with this, you stick with this. Okay, I'm not gonna use the flex basics. So the both are same, but with this give you a more sense. Okay, so that's what I'm using with. So the third thing, we have align self. So what, okay, not here. So here we have align self. Okay, what the align self is going to do. So here I'm now I'm targeting a flex children. Okay, so align self flex start. This is not a parent, this is a children. So this it's a nothing change here. Okay, so if I change this align self to center, it's actually aligning in a center of that 500 pixels. So this is the 500 pixel we gave here already. Okay, so we are now moving the children using a moving a child property properties of the children. Okay, not using the parents. So last time we used the align items to align the thing, but we not gonna use this also. Most of the time we align the children using the align items. We only going to control the parent only, but not the align self. Okay, I'm just so this is the align self. So there is another this so this one is flex end. Okay, so it should come to that 500 pixel of the bottom. So okay, so this is good. So what about flex align self? Sorry, align self. This one is flex start. Okay, this one is flex start. So this one is center. Now what do you think will happen? Just anyone explain, please. So we gave start, center, and what
Red one will be in the top and blue one will be in the center.
Left side top first one will be, and second one will be middle.
End side.
so okay, the first one will be in the top and the second one in the middle and the third one in the bottom of the 500 pixel, right? Okay,
Yes.
so now if I come back here, you see the same thing happened. Okay, so we are aligning, we are controlling the children using that align self properties. So okay, so now you got this. Okay, so I'll just command this out. And the last property we have order. Okay, so the order, so we cannot able to use the order in direct children. Okay, so the order is we can swap the children order. Like for example, you can take this 2 to here without changing any HTML code. Okay, that is very powerful. For example, I'll just give you the example. So in a drawing, but afterwards we get into the project, we'll learn the thing. So for example, here we have the text. Okay, not the text here. So okay, so here we have an image. So this is a web page. Okay, so this is a web page. This side we have an image, and this side we have one heading and some content, and we have some button here. Okay, so this is how it looks in a web, in a laptop or desktop, in a large screen. So what happen when you shrink the screen, this image only come in a top. okay, the text will goes down. This is how the flex will actually, this is how the response will work. So the left element stays on the top and the right element only wrap to the bottom. Okay, so if we have these kinds of issue, the client will say, I need the text on the top and the image goes to the bottom. So on that time, what you the in the previous time, how the developer will do, they actually have a they actually have a two types of HTML coding. Okay, one for web and another one for mobile device. So they actually swap the thing using the class whenever we can. We didn't get into that responsive, right?
No, sir.
Yeah, okay, so tomorrow we get into responsive. Okay, no problem. So they actually, I will give you the explanation about the tomorrow. Okay, so it is very difficult to explain without knowing the responsive design. So tomorrow I will give you that example. So for that, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to swap the children. Okay, so for example, I'm just going to make the two to second children to one, the third children to two, and first children to the last one. So for example, this is a first one. Okay, so I'm just going to make an order of 3. Okay, this should goes to the last, I'm actually swapping the children to in the places. The second one should goes to the first place and the third one should goes to the second place. Okay, so if you see here we have 2. So the second one we change the order to 1 and the third one we change the order to 2 and the first one we change the order to 3. Okay, so this is about the order properties. Okay, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we completed the flex box. Okay, so there is no other property actually. This is flex. Okay, there is no other kinds of things at all. So some people will teach you in a YouTube with more than 2 hours or 3 hours. I'm not going to do like that way. So tomorrow we get into project. Okay, so we're going to create web page using the flex, what we learned in a flex. So tomorrow what project we're going to create, I will show you that. So tomorrow we're going to create this one. Okay, using a flex box. So we created the flex box. So we know now we can align a row using a flex. So here we have one parent. Okay, here we have one parent. So this one parent has a 2 children. This content has 1 children and this image has 1 children. So if I change the parent to flex, this and this come next to each other, right? So that is that's what the flex will do. So the same concept is going to apply here. We have one parent here and 3 children here. Okay, so if I change the parent to flex, this all children will usually come to one by one to the bottom because its a default value is a block. When I change the parent to the flex, display flex, it should come next to each other. Okay, that's what the flex is actually doing. So here also we have one more flex and here also we have one more flex. Hereafter, where whatever you the website you are seeing, okay, in your desktop or your mobile, always look it as a flex. Okay, without flex we cannot able to make a website or web page or anything. Okay, so as a web developer, without flex box you cannot able to create anything. So hereafter, if you see anything in your browser as a website or web application, just look it as a flex. Okay, how they actually split the column and how they split the rows and how they distribute the space and alignments kind of things. Okay, so far we learn the basics of flex and we know what are the properties and we know what that properties are actually doing. So but we don't know where to implement that properties and how to implement that properties. So the tomorrow thing, the
Sir, one doubt, sir.
yeah,
Sir, in the above header, you can see student love,
yeah,
and the 3 things are hyperlinks.
yeah.
But they have given one to the end and one to the start.
Yeah, okay, so
But
here,
when
yeah,
we
okay, now
learned that,
understand.
yes, sir. But we learned only to give
uh,
end or start. All
yeah,
the things will come out with.
yeah, okay, yeah, I today I will not show you one property. Okay, I will
Okay.
show you the property tomorrow, but I will explain you now. So here we have one parent. Okay, for example, I change this color to some called blue. Okay, so here we have one parent. This parent contain one div. Okay, sorry, this parent contain the children of one div children and another ul children. Okay, so if I change the parent to flex, these both things will come to next to each other. Okay, and I can give justify content space between. Now I'm actually showing like this way, but I'm just explaining. Okay, so tomorrow I will give you the, when we tomorrow we get into the project with responsibilities and we make this as a with a response. Okay, so justify space between. So now this is actually the block, this is still in a block. Okay, I want to change the ul to display flex. Okay, now, so the list, how would the list will come? If you use the ul, it come like this way. Okay, so it's all three elements are actually a block element. Once you change the ul to display flex, these links are come next to each other. Okay, so that's the thing how it's actually we're going to use a flex box. Okay, I know it is very difficult to understand, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Tomorrow we'll look the thing how to create the project using this. Okay, so don't worry about that. Tomorrow we get into this project. Okay, so any other doubts? Today there is no
No, sir.
task. Today what you want to do, you just go on to play with all these syntax, all these properties what we learned today. Okay, I will now share the code in the group. So just go and play what we learned today. Just go and practice what the flex this space between is doing. Inspect the thing and watch what is actually having, how the space is distributing like that way. Okay. Whenever I do, I always open my inspect. So you also have that practice with you. Okay. You are a web developer. You are going to align the thing. You are going to give the some space distribution to the website when you're making. So always open the inspect tab and go and research the inspect how the space distribution is actually working and how the alignment is working. So tomorrow we'll get into all the things. Okay, so tomorrow you will understand the flex 100%. Okay, so today you understand only the 20% how this is actually working. So the basic concept of the flex properties, how this is actually working. So tomorrow when we implement all the logic into the project, you will come to understand everything. Okay, so whenever then if you go and watch any website in Netflix or somewhere, whatever the website you are daily using, okay, you can able to understand how the developer align the layout. Okay, the website layout. So today go and learn these properties. So tomorrow we'll have another session with the project. Okay,
Yes.
Okay, sir.
so okay, do you have any other doubts for anyone?
No, sir. Just ask the management to share the previous lectures recording
Okay, brother. So today I
Friday.
will talk to them. I actually I forgot to tell to them. So I will let you. I will today I will inform them. Okay,
Okay, sir.
sure. Okay, sorry for that. Today I will inform them. Okay.
No problem, sir.
Yeah. Okay.